That's 2 years after OpenAI was founded as a non-profit. 2 years after they promised the mission would never be about money. 2 years after they convinced people to join for lower salaries because it's not about profit. And Greg Brockman, one of the co-founders, is already writing in his diary about becoming a billionaire and flipping to for-profit. 2 days ago, a judge read that diary entry and said, "This goes to trial." She thinks there's enough evidence that OpenAI might have fraudulently induced people to donate and work for them under false pretenses. Today, I'm going to show you the evidence, the timeline, the money, and let you decide, was this always the plan? Was OpenAI's non-profit mission ever real? Or was it always a con to get cheap talent and free money before the inevitable flip? This is a story about a promise, a diary entry, and $500 billion, and it's all real. December 2015. If you wanted to start an AI company, you had a problem. Google, Facebook, Microsoft, they're vacuuming up all the top AI talent. They're paying $300,000 to $500,000 salaries, huge budgets, unlimited resources. How do you compete with that? Sam Altman and Greg Brockman had an idea. Don't compete on money, compete on mission. They made a pitch. We're building OpenAI as a non-profit. We'll never be driven by profit. We'll focus on what's best for humanity. We'll share everything openly, papers, code, patents. Our research is free from financial obligations, so we can better focus on a positive human impact. It's a brilliant pitch. Who wouldn't want to join that? And it worked. Top researchers left Google, left Facebook, took pay cuts. Why? Because of the mission. A Google employee told reporters he joined OpenAI partly because of the very strong group of people and, to a very large extent, because of its mission. Elon Musk donated tens of millions of dollars, a huge share of OpenAI's early funding. He wouldn't have done that for a for-profit company competing with his own ventures. Others donated too. Why? Because they believed in the non-profit mission. The non-profit structure wasn't just a tax status, it was the reason people joined, the reason people donated, the core promise. Without it, OpenAI would have been just another AI startup competing against tech giants with infinite money. The non-profit was the whole point. Or so everyone thought. The evidence came out in the court filings. 2017, just 2 years after founding. It was Greg Brockman's diary. We've been thinking that maybe we should just flip to a for-profit. Making the money for us sounds great and all. 2 years. They founded OpenAI in December 2015 with this huge promise: we'll never be driven by profit. By 2017, the co-founder is writing, "Making the money for us sounds great." And more, he mused about his desire to become a billionaire. Let me show you what else happened in 2017 and 2018. 2017, Brockman's diary entry, which we now know about from the filings. Early 2018, Musk began to suspect that Sam Altman and Greg Brockman might be planning to transform the lab into a profit-seeking company. Altman sought to reassure Musk that he remained committed to OpenAI's nonprofit mission. February 2018, Musk leaves the board. March 2019, OpenAI announces they're creating a for-profit subsidiary. So Brockman writes about flipping to for-profit in 2017. Musk suspects they're planning something in 2018. Altman reassures him, no, we're committed to the nonprofit. Then Musk leaves. Then, 13 months later, boom, for-profit announcement. Here's the question, when did they decide? Did they decide in 2019 when they announced it? Or did they decide in 2017 when Brockman was already writing about it in his diary? Because if they decided in 2017, that means they spent 2 more years recruiting people with a mission they'd already decided to abandon. And it means Musk's final donations came after they'd already decided to flip, but before they told him. That's not we changed our minds. That's not we had to evolve. That looks a lot more like, let's keep the nonprofit story going while we plan the switch. If this was a con, let me show you how this would work as a con, hypothetically. Step 1. Create urgency with a mission. AI is dangerous. Tech giants are racing ahead without safety. We need a non-profit alternative. This gets you top researchers willing to take pay cuts, donations from billionaires, public goodwill, media coverage. Step 2. Build value using cheap labor. For 3 to 4 years, you pay researchers less than market rate. They accept it because it's about the mission, not money. Meanwhile, you're building intellectual property, training models, creating technology, establishing a brand. Step 3, flip to for-profit once you have value. Unfortunately, we need to raise more money. Donations aren't enough. We're creating a for-profit subsidiary. But don't worry, the nonprofit still controls everything. Now you have valuable IP built on cheap labor, a trained team, technology ready to commercialize, and you can claim it was necessary. Step 4, complete the transformation. Gradually, power shifts to the for-profit. By 2023, OpenAI is valued at around $29 billion. By 2024, about $86 billion. By 2025, roughly $500 billion. The nonprofit now owns only about 26%, while partners like Microsoft hold a stake worth around $135 billion. I'm not saying this was a con. I'm saying if it was a con, this is exactly how you'd do it. And Brockman's 2017 diary entry? That's the kind of evidence that makes a judge say, yeah, a jury should decide this. Now, the trial. So what happens now? 2 days ago, U.S. District Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers said Musk's lawsuit will go to trial in March. The allegations are fraud, that OpenAI's co-founders fraudulently induced Musk to donate, breach of contract, that they violated the founding agreement, and unjust enrichment, that they converted donations into personal wealth. The evidence she found compelling includes Brockman's 2017 diary entry about flipping to for-profit, the timeline of reassurances versus actions, the founding documents versus the current structure, and what she described as plenty of evidence suggesting OpenAI's leadership made assurances that the organization would remain a nonprofit dedicated to the public good. And here's where it gets more complex. The judge is still deciding whether unjust enrichment allegations against Microsoft will go forward. Microsoft, which has accumulated a roughly 27% stake worth about $135 billion in a $500 billion company, may face claims that it aided and abetted OpenAI's transformation. A Microsoft attorney argued there's no evidence of that, but the judge has not made a final ruling on whether Microsoft remains in the case. What does OpenAI say? Mr. Musk's lawsuit continues to be baseless and part of his ongoing pattern of harassment. They argue Musk left voluntarily, that he's upset about xAI competing, that no fraud occurred, and that everything was legal. A jury trial is set for March. Both sides will present evidence, witnesses will testify under oath, and we'll find out, was the nonprofit mission real, or was it always temporary?
Let me ask those questions. Here's why this matters beyond just Musk versus Altman. Question 1. Can you trust AI company promises? Anthropic says they're AI safety focused. Google says AI for everyone. Meta says they're going open source. If OpenAI could promise non-profit forever and flip in 4 years, what do these promises mean? Question 2. Who actually owns the AI we all use? Millions of people use ChatGPT daily. Businesses integrate GPT-4 into their operations. But Microsoft owns around 27% of a $500 billion company. That's a $135 billion stake. They control key infrastructure. They hold powerful licensing rights. Analysts say this raises questions about vendor governance stability for enterprises that have built business-critical systems on OpenAI's models. The AI built with donations and by people who believed in a mission is now effectively controlled by a tech giant, exactly what OpenAI was supposed to prevent. Question 3. Was the research actually open? In 2015, the promise was share papers, blog posts, code, and patents. By 2024, the reality is very different. GPT-4's architecture, secret. Training data, secret. Most cutting-edge work no longer fully published. The open in OpenAI is basically gone. So was any of it real? Here's the friction. Everyone's arguing about whether Musk is a hero or a villain, whether Altman is a visionary or a fraud. But maybe they're asking the wrong question. The real question is, did OpenAI use non-profit as a recruitment tool and fundraising strategy while always planning to go full profit? The evidence suggests they might have. Brockman's diary, 2017, already thinking about flipping. Musk's 2018 suspicions, later confirmed in filings. Altman's reassurances, followed by the exact thing he said wouldn't happen. The timeline? 2 years planning, 2 years executing. A judge looked at this evidence and said a jury should decide. In March, they will. But here's my question for you. Even if it's legal, even if they can argue we had to evolve, does it matter that the promise was broken? Does it matter that people joined, donated, and believed in something that lasted 4 years? Or is this just how business works in tech? Because if promises don't matter, if mission statements are just marketing, then when the next AI company promises to keep you safe, to prioritize humanity, to stay mission-focused, why should anyone believe them? What do you think? Was this always a con or a necessary evolution? Team they lied or team they adapted? Let me know. Trial starts in March. Subscribe to see how it ends. Because if a judge thinks there's fraud here, this could change everything about AI company promises.
I'm reading every comment. Let's debate this. And if you want to see what happens when this goes to trial in March, when Musk and Altman testify under oath, you need to subscribe, because I'll be breaking down every twist. If this video made you see OpenAI differently, smash that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more people who need to see the evidence. The trial starts in March. The stakes are $135 billion. The question is, who's telling the truth? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.